Hello, May class, and welcome to your next English lesson. Welcome to your next English lesson. So, in the previous lesson, we were writing up our facts from our fact box about Mrs. Bowen. We were writing up the information into paragraphs. We looked briefly at how a paragraph should be structured, what goes into a paragraph. Today, we are going to be looking at our non-chronological reports about Mrs. Bowen. So please make sure to go and get the ones that you wrote yesterday. And we're going to look a little bit more into editing them today. So let me share my screen. Right, we're going to be editing our paragraphs today, as mentioned, and we're going to be making them better. So, when we write something down, it is really important that other people can understand it. So mistakes can make it really hard for other people to understand what we are meaning when we are writing, and they sometimes can make it really hard to read what has been written and the paragraphs of information that we have spent so much time collecting and writing. So we're going to go through a few examples of mistakes that we can make, that are simple mistakes that we can make with our writing. So one of them is that missing word mistakes. So sometimes when we write words out without realizing, we may miss out one or two words from the sentence that we have written. So in the sentence that I have got there, some of the words have been missed out, so it doesn't make sense. So can we add words to this so that it does make sense? So it says, last week I to the park. So give it a pause, give it a think. What do you think is missing? Right, last week I went to the park. So the missing word there was went. We sometimes make spelling mistakes. So can you spot and correct the spelling mistake in this sentence? They like going to the seaside is the sentence. So pause the video and see if you can write the corrected sentence there. Okay, so the spelling mistakes there are in they and in going. So your sentence should read, they like going to the seaside. So give yourself a little tick if you got that one correct. Right, sometimes we make grammatical errors. Sometimes when we are writing, we choose the wrong words to go into our sentences. Have a look at this sentence and see if you can spot the mistake that has been written in this sentence. So they was having a good time. This one may be a little bit harder for us, but I want you to think about it. Read it out loud if you're not sure. They was having a good time. Okay, the correct sentence is they were. So we need to have the correct version of was. So he was having a good time. They were having a good time. So just try and make sure that you are using the correct version of the words. Right. Each of these sentences have a mistake in them. Can you spot them and can you correct them? So I want you to have a go at this yourself. When I went to the farm, I saw a horse. She goes to the shops to but some sweets. It was sunny at the beach. Or it was sunny at beach. The car was red. It went very fast. So have a read through and can you correct the sentences that have been put in here? So pause the video and correct the sentences that we have got. Okay, so now that you have corrected them, I will show you the corrections that we needed to make. Using my pen. Give me a second to plug my pen in. Our sentences read, when I went to the farm, I saw a horse. The spelling of when is incorrect. It should be a capital W, H-E-N. I saw a horse should not have a U in it. She goes to the shops to buy some sweets. So she went. That is obviously the past tense of that word. To the shops to buy some sweets. It was sunny at the beach. And the car was red. It went very fast. That is the wrong version of red. We should have that one. And we could have a comma there. It went very fast. So check the mistakes in your sentences and check that you have corrected them correctly and give yourself a little tick if you have. So today we will be editing our, and you can see even that has got a mistake that needs to be corrected, our non-chronological report innovation. So we're going to be looking at the one that we wrote about Mrs. Bowen. So remember the editing skills that we looked at in previously. So we have already looked at some editing skills. I'm going to briefly highlight them and go over them again, and then you can refer back to them if you need. So when editing our work, we should focus on the following ideas: suggest ways we could improve our sentences, change different word classes. Remember that not all sentences need jazzing up. They don't all need to be fancy, but we can use some interesting descriptive words, adjectives when we're writing. Those are always very important. Remember to proofread your work. So read through your work and decide where one idea ends and others begin. Remember that would be the end of a sentence, which should have a full stop. Read your work out loud because that will help you to better hear it and see if you've made mistakes. Look for your full stops, your question marks, your exclamation marks. Have you used them correctly in your sentences? We looked at punctuation, looking for capital letters, commas after your fronted adverbials, full stops to finish your sentences, question marks, exclamation marks, numbers for steps. That should be steps. Accidentally put a spare one in there. Just going to put it through there. Through steps and bullet points for the lists. For your spellings that don't look right, check with an online dictionary and use your spelling words and your vocabulary words to help you with this. And obviously finding the words that you have misspelt can be the challenge when you're looking at this. Remember that anything that doesn't look right, check online and use obviously your vocabulary words. Right, so let's read through our non-chronological report that we completed yesterday. Here is mine, and I've made a little list of things that I'm going to be checking for, and I can actually add to this and write that I've written the correct homophones, and that's words like, I'll give you an example, there, and there. Making sure that they are using the correct ones. And sometimes we write down the wrong homophone, so it's important that we write down the correct ones. So you're going to look for spelling errors, capital letters, punctuation, your punctuated fronted adverbials, your descriptive language. We've looked at using adverbs. We've looked at, can you include conjunctions, making your sentences better? Can we add more information? Can we use interesting vocabulary? Look at your technical vocabulary you've included. Look at how you've laid your work out. Have you laid it out correctly? So here is my non-chronological report that I can then read through and correct. If I think that maybe I can use more interesting vocabulary, I can do that. If I haven't punctuated something correctly, we can go back and look at that. Have I punctuated my fronted adverbials? So you can see my non-chronological report. It's got my introductory paragraph. It's got early life, becoming a teacher, life as a head teacher. It's got fun facts. The only thing I'm missing is maybe my little conclusion that I need to add in. So if I've forgotten something, I can edit my work and add that in. All right. So your 3 tasks today are as follows. you're going to start off by correcting the paragraph that is below. Right? You're looking for spelling mistakes, you're looking for corrected homophones, you're looking for punctuation mistakes, any grammar mistakes, capital letters. So pause the video and rewrite this paragraph, correcting it. You can use a different color to do the corrections as well. Then, once you've finished that paragraph, go back to your non-chronological report about Mrs. Bowen and edit your writing. Focus on the spelling, make sure that you have got the correct tense, make sure that your punctuation is correct and your vocabulary. And then finally, I would like you to rewrite your final non-chronological report in neat. I will be having a look at these and I will be sharing them with Mrs. Bowen so she can see some of the things you've been writing. So make sure that this is your neatest handwriting, neatly presented, and it is laid out correctly, and that you've edited it, and that the version that you, the second version that you do today is obviously your final version that you would be happy to share with somebody else. Please make sure that your work is uploaded onto Tapestry by 4 p.m. this afternoon.